Hey traders, here we go again. I am short CAD NOK, the Canadian dollar, Norwegian kroner. I'm short and there's major news in 8 minutes, which could see this trade take a big loss. Okay, so it's quite a risky trade to take. If we look at the charts, let's look at the weekly. So on the weekly here, price has been consolidating. You can see we're getting tighter and tighter, moving off diagonal resistance and diagonal support. So here's the resistance, here's the support, and price is back at that resistance area. I think there's actually more chance from a technical point of view that price is going to break above this resistance because it's been tested so many times, but also the trend is up. If we look at the monthly here, clear uptrend, clear bullish channel on the monthly time frame. So from a technical point of view, I think price could move higher. We are at that resistance area, which is why I wanted to go short. The RSI is overbought and price just closed a pin bar. This is what I call a perfect pin bar. Usually I'd have a sell order pending just below the pin bar, but I'm concerned with the news approaching that price is potentially going to jump down and I'll get a really bad entry or miss my entry. So I've prematurely gone short, but it might backfire because price could actually jump up with that news, and I could be taking a loss here, and potentially a bigger loss than I want to. So I'm risking somewhere between 50 and 100 pounds. If there's a massive move up, that is a risk. Then I could lose more than that. Obviously, there's a lot in the kitty, so I'm not going to blow my account on a single trade. That would be silly. So from a technical point of view, it's all about resistance. It's about an overbought market at that resistance with a setup. You can see the trade here. It's at £20 now. Things will get a bit volatile as that news approaches. We have 5 minutes. From a fundamental point of view, the Norwegian kroner is just an obvious buy. Inflation is still high. If we go to the Norwegian kroner here, you can see this is the green, this green line here. This is inflation. Inflation's still high. Here's the target. You know, I don't think a rate cut is anytime soon, and inflation is actually forecast to move higher, which is what the news is in 5 minutes. It is inflation. So here we go. Inflation for Norway year on year is forecast to be 3.5%, previously 2.8%. So this chart is actually going to move up if the figure is as forecast. So we're not getting close to a rate cut. Rates are likely will be higher for longer. This white line is the interest rate. You know, hasn't come down yet. I don't think it will come down anytime soon. Monthly unemployment is good, GDP growth is good, PMI is coming down but we're still positive. There's not much reason to cut rates. There's every reason to keep rates higher for longer, and we can see that here for the Norwegian kroner. Everything is in the green. One of the very few currencies apart from the yen where there are so many greens. So it's definitely a buy for me. And this is the first time there has been a sort of like a technical reason to enter a trade. Now the way things are going, price actually might break above and stop me out even before the news. So at £37. So this might be a total waste of a video and total waste of a trade. But let's wait and see what happens. We've got a few minutes and we'll see what happens here on CAD NOK. So price is coming down a little bit. You can see the position is now in a slight profit. The figure was not what I was expecting, nor what the market was expecting. 2.6, forecast to be 3.5. So that really changes my outlook. So if we go to inflation for Norway and put in 2.6, and then we'll go back and look at those charts. So I thought this would be up here, but we're back at these lows. We're still not quite at the target, but things aren't as bad from an inflation perspective as I thought they were. So we look at here, I did put 2.8 and rising. It's now 2.6 and potentially ranging, but also potentially moving lower. I still think rates could be higher for longer, but obviously we're a lot closer now to a rate cut than we were. So I'm not as keen now on buying the Norwegian krona as I was. We'll give this trade a go though, and we'll see how it goes. It's still potentially a good currency to buy, and potentially we could have this reversal off this area. You know, if that inflation figure came out at 2% or 1.8%, if it was at or below that target, there's no way I'd be buying the Norwegian krone right now because a rate cut would be imminent. But let's see how this goes. I'm not as confident as I was because of that figure. So if it's a loss, it's a loss. CAD NOK is looking better now. Nice move down on the 4 hour. I'm not sure if this will continue. Hopefully it will, that we'll get some downside longer term. You know, price is uptrending here on the 4 hour. You can see the higher lows and higher highs. Looks like price recently broke out of like a bullish channel. So it could be that we're going to reverse and push higher, and it could be a losing trade after all. You may wonder why I don't take some profit now or adjust my stop loss to break even. It's just too early to do something like that. If I hit 200, 250, 300 pounds profit and I haven't managed to adjust my stop loss, then I will take something off the table. But ideally, you know, I want this to be a 1 to 10 risk reward trade. I want to make £500. This take profit is set at £1,000 down here. So we'll wait and see what happens. Ideally, what would happen now is we get a move down, some sort of poured back, and a move lower. So we get like these lower highs. I can then move my stop loss above the lower high and then just follow the trend down to my take profit area. That's the ideal situation. Or price to do something like this and just totally fall to the downside and hit my take profit. Obviously, that is very welcome. There is also a potential trade on Euro Norwegian krone. I'm going to place a sell order. So what I have here is weekly consolidation resistance, so weekly channel here, weekly horizontal channel, weekly range. Price is at the range resistance. 4 hour RSI is oversold. And this is a big engulfing candle, which I refer to as a correct engulfing candle. Sell order is below, stop loss is above. So it could be short Euro NOK soon as well, based on the same fundamental analysis as covered earlier in this video. Euro Norwegian krona and Canadian dollar Norwegian krona were both stopped out. They're gone. They were losing trades. I've also had a small loss here, £32 on Euro Canadian dollar. If I scroll down, here's my CAD NOK trade, £52, and a bit lower here is my Euro NOK, £41. I'm in a drawdown. You can see my account has taken a bit of a hit. This spreadsheet tracks all the trades in this series that I have taken, starting with £1,000 and now currently at 3,900. If I go through September here, you can see my balance hit an all-time high of £4,299, £4,300. Currently now at 3,980. This doesn't take into consideration financing fees, overnight swap rates, hence why there's a slight difference here. So I'm in a drawdown. This is how the chart looks. This chart and this chart are identical. This one just has the monetary amounts, the account balance. This one has the return per trade. So I'm in a drawdown, hit the peak here, and I've been coming down. This happens, and you can see it happened here, happened slightly here, happened here, a big one here, and lots of small ones along the way. These are drawdowns. They happen. They're very frustrating, especially when you go short Euro NOK and Canadian dollar NOK, and you are stopped out, and then price decides to fall. Went short here, stopped out here. Look where price is now. Euro NOK is the same. I went short up here, stopped out just here. Price moved us slightly higher and then came down. It's incredibly frustrating. This is just what happens. You have to accept it. At this point in a drawdown, so how many losing trades is that? So from the peak here, 1, 2, 3, 4, slight profit, 5, 6, 7. So 7 losing trades. At this point is when traders start to become emotional and think the strategy isn't working. I'm going to dump it. Or I'm really frustrated about those Norwegian kroner trades. I'm going to double up. Or I'm just going to take any trade this morning and try and win back some money. That ultimately leads to failure. I will just be steady. I will stick to the strategy, and you'll see at some point this will start climbing again. I went through this here, 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 and lots of other times too. So it could be that this drawdown continues. It could be that we fall all the way to £3,000, from our 4,300. I don't know what's going to happen, but you'll see that this thing will start to climb again, and long term, you'll see that it was worthwhile sticking to the strategy and just being calm. So I do have a couple of trades open, which have some potential. I think this is going to be a loser. US dollar Swiss francs, that's another loser in the bag. Australian dollar Swiss franc has some potential, £84 there. I'm looking for £500, which would get me out of this drawdown. But let's just wait and see what happens. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you in another video.